Welcome to the Exam Lab, the site for exam test takers in English. I'm Simon. The Exam Lab helps students prepare a wide range of exams, including IELTS, First, Advanced and Proficiency in the UK, as well as TOEFL, GMAT, SAT in the US, and many others. In today's video, we're going to look at how we use the definite article the with a special category of noun. So let's get started. So we're looking here on our screen at 4 sentences, A, B, C and D, and you'll see certain words have been highlighted in brown. UNESCO, UN, sentence B, IMF, International Monetary Fund, and OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, sentence B, IMF, International Monetary Fund, and OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Sentence C, WHO, the World Health Organization, and also in sentence C, COVID-19, needs no introduction, unfortunately. Finally, sentence D, UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and COP26, a conference on climate change. 26 was organised in Glasgow a few months ago. Right, so what is special about these words? Here's our problem for today. Do we use the before the noun highlighted in brown? You can just take a look for a second and decide what you think. Are you going to say the UNESCO or zero? Are you going to say the UN, etc.? And this is the problem. This costs you several marks as you're writing. Almost inevitably today you'll be writing about international organisations. You'll be writing about COVID, you'll be writing about Brexit, you'll be writing about COP26. So you need to know how we use the article, or if we use the article. So let's now very quickly just look at the answer before we get to the explanation. So here is the answer. Sentence A, UNESCO is nothing. The UN, we say the. Sentence B, we say the IMF, but OPEC is nothing. Sentence C, we say the WHO, the World Health Organization. COVID is nothing. And finally in D, we say the United Arab Emirates, but COP26 is nothing. So we need to understand what's going on. All of those nouns highlighted in brown are words made up of initials of individual letters. Look at sentence A again. UNESCO, UN. And there is sentence D, for example, UAE, COP26. So when we look at UN, why do we call it UN? We call it that because of the U for United, the N for Nations. COP is a slightly strange one. It stands for Conference of the Parties. So let's go back to our question. Do we use the before these nouns made up of initials? Here's the answer. It depends if your noun is an organisation. So that's question number 1. Is the initial noun an organisation? Here are some organisations. British Broadcasting Company. This is International Football Association. This is North Atlantic Treaty Organisation. So these are 3 organisations. So if your noun is an organisation, question 2, is the noun an acronym or an abbreviation? Right, what does that mean? Well, it simply means how do we pronounce the word. An acronym is pronounced as one word. So we say NATO. We say it as if it were a normal noun. They're just two sounds, NATO. If it's an abbreviation, we spell the word letter by letter. So we say BBC. We do not try to say BBK. And so here finally is the rule for organisations. If the organisation is an acronym, we do not use the. So the correct answer is NATO or FIFA. We sound them as one word. But if it's an abbreviation, we add the. So we say the BBC, the UN, the UAE. Fine. What happens if the noun is not an organisation? Well, I'm afraid there is no special rule to help you. You will have to learn what English does, what is the usage correct answer. So if you look at the three words there, three medical words, AIDS, HIV, DNA, you'll hear that the first one, AIDS, is pronounced as an acronym, but HIV and DNA are spelt letter by letter. They are abbreviations. None of them has the definite article. So unfortunately, if it's not an organisation, you don't know whether it's an abbreviation or an acronym. It doesn't help you decide what the correct answer is. Okay, then final point, and it's a very important one. We have been talking about nouns. You look at a couple of examples here. She works for the UN. The UN is a noun. NATO consists of 30 member states. Fine, so that's what happens with nouns. But you may find the organisation used as an adjective, not as a noun. And adjectives do not have any impact on the grammar of the noun. They modify. So here we're going to show the adjectives in red. Let's look at a basic sentence, 5A, or two sentences. Schools should teach languages, sentence 1. Education can be expensive. And that's correct English. There is no the in 5A because schools is a plural countable, education is an uncountable noun, and if there is no additional grammar determination, there is no article. So 5A is correct. And so look what happens if we add some adjectives in 5B. Scottish schools, Scottish secondary schools, we can add 2, 3, 4 adjectives. Should teach languages, private selective education can be expensive. So the words in red are simply adjectives and they don't change anything. So whatever the correct answer was for 5A will not be changed when you add the adjective. So let's look at this in practice. There's sentence 6A. Staff are well paid. And staff is a plural countable noun. You can see that because we have a plural verb. In sentence 6B, guidance must be followed. Guidance is uncountable. And exactly the same as in point 5, we can add an adjective, we can add a word in red, it changes nothing. So we can say UN staff, UN is an adjective, WHO guidance, WHO is an adjective. So this is why we teach you to say the UK, the US when they are nouns, but you'll often see UK or US used as adjectives. Look at my two examples at the bottom there. UK citizens no longer have residence rights in the EU since Brexit. US funding of the UN is under threat. So citizens, plural group, funding uncountable, but the presence of the adjective changes nothing to the rule. So that is how the system works. We look for the first question, are we talking about an organisation? If we are, is it an acronym or is it an abbreviation? Unfortunately, if it's not an organisation, then you're going to have to learn what we do. But that already will help you clear up many of the basic mistakes. So let's try this mini quiz to finish with. You're going to put the or nothing 0 in the blank space. So have a go, write your answers in the comments. We'll put the correct answers in the comments later on. You've got 6 questions there. Good luck with those. That's the end of this video. To receive more English language lessons from the Exam Lab, just click subscribe. We cover key grammar and vocabulary you need for exam success in our regularly weekly videos. Thank you very much.